All right, so let's talk here about the back and forth again when it comes to the Prime Minister in China, because, James, as I pointed out, right, there is a fork in the road that every leader has to choose, right, which is, do you stand up for your national interest, or do you do the easy stuff, which is going to be the photo ops, the cuddles, the money, the WeChatting, all the rest of it, right? Because all of that comes at a price, and the price is never call us out, even when we do the wrong thing to one of your soldiers, and it'll be easy sailing. And it looks like Albanese has chosen that path.
Absolutely, and you just know that the whole thing, he went into this whole meeting with China, with Xi, and he started his whole government, I'm not Scott Morrison. I am Anthony Albanese. I'm the greatest diplomat since Henry Kissinger or Metternich. I am going to be, the one who repairs the relationship here. Of course, Albo, so of course, that's not actually going to happen there. This whole thing with, of course, the sonar and a really bizarre and disturbing incident, well, we knew something was going to happen because this is what they always do. The pattern of China is they give with one hand and then, you kowtow and you say, oh, look how good it is, we've got this great relation, and then they treat you like crap on the other, and you're there with no self-respect, and they laugh at you. And I'll say this for Scott Morrison, he did stand up for Australia's interests, even though it hurt.
Well, to the extent where financially they went after him, politically, all the rest of it. But can we just keep showing that same footage again? Because I just think it is such a metaphor, right? Which is, Z sitting there not even thinking about Australia. The Australian Prime Minister sort of runs up, like, dare I say, Toto would, run up, hey, g'day mate, can we have a photo? Oh, yes, of course. And while all of this is happening, just a couple of days earlier, this thing had happened when it came to our Navy. Again, Matt, I understand, I get the joy of being able to sit here in the man cave and mouth off. These are the people that actually have to manage the relationships. But the reality is that if you look at the arc of time, where we're going to be in a scenario here, while our politicians focus on the news cycle and the electoral cycle, China's looking at this in decades and decades and decades. And in the same way that we all woke up one day and the South China Sea had a couple of new islands in it, the same's going to happen again and again and again, unless you draw a line, and you don't say we're going to war with China, you just say, hey, hang on, mate, I thought we were sweet.
Well, exactly right, Paul. And just to add, I think one more factor here is what I find the most disgraceful thing about the Prime Minister's actions, or what we can surmise from his actions, given he won't say anything, is his failure to stand up for the Australian men and women who serve in our armed forces.
Correct.
I mean, our Australian diggers here have been injured by the Chinese actions, and we haven't even got a Prime Minister with the guts to, on behalf of them, to raise these issues with the country that's caused these injuries. I think it's a gross dereliction of his fundamental duty as the Commander-in-Chief to lead our armed forces and to always have their back. Now, as I say, I can only conclude that he hasn't raised this with the President of China, because I think we can all attest that if he had have raised it with it, he'd be saying that publicly right now, given the criticism he's copping. And then the other factor here is, I think what you've alluded to, is that I think this is a test that China put out to us. They clearly tested the Prime Minister here following his Gough Whitlam-esque parody a few weeks ago in Beijing. And he's been found wanting. So China now knows that the Prime Minister won't push back against anything they do, and that puts us in a very dangerous position as a country. Yeah,
James, I can't help but think that, well, obviously all of the relationships in our lives are perfect. There would be no doubt people who always call about 10 minutes into when you're on the air, just to leave a voicemail message, get back to me when you can, because they know you're not going to pick up. And I reckon that's the example here about what's happened, which has gone, hang on, so when's Z in the air? Or I'll call them, oh, sorry, mate, I left your voicemail, playing phone tag. Come on, it is damn serious, but there's a lot of play here. And again, Prime Minister nowhere to be seen today, gives a speech tonight all about bashing Dutton. Watch them tomorrow, all the chooks run away and report that and not actually stay on the main game.